in Accra, Chairman Emmanuel Amenin, may the Lord perfect all that concerns you. Live to be 94.7 and beyond. Hashtag Ecosis and hashtag bold solutions for the future. Alex Martinson, Uwo Koforidia, and Udiwe Abre, Yedase Papa. Let me see. This one says, Obi, please kindly wish Stephanie Amponsa, a nurse in the UK, a glorious happy birthday for me. From Samuel Lawe, your parents, colleague, workers, and the rest of the family. They celebrate you today, Stephanie. Master P.O. London and Odiwe Abrain. This one says, Obi, per what Mr. Agri is saying, that no candidate should talk to Ghanaians about what he intends to do for Ghana, because President Mahama has also been president before, and he had the opportunity to do all that he is promising today. Yet some people want us to believe Mahama, who has even been president before and had the ultimate power to do many things, and not Bawumia. Interesting perspective indeed. Emmanuel Ewo Takrade and on the way. But Emmanuel, and good afternoon to you. Mema SAMMI AWUKU Akwabe. Let me say a big good afternoon to your guest and a handful, former player of the Black Stars, and also wait, so Obi, it's crystal clear that the political platform for the 2024 elections has been set on an elevated platform to start with. Trust me, the campaign will not be business as usual, i.e. name-calling, insults, and criticisms. Ghanaians are expecting a solution-oriented, minded leader to plug our country into the global economy. I'm urging the NDC to repackage or change their candidate to save him the embarrassment, since the new platform will be too hot for him. Just sit and relax for the man of destiny as he takes the country to the new world. Dominic Edria, or say Job Day Grounds, Ecosis saying so any. Sammy Akwaba na apom te saying.
Major so Obi, Miss me watch it.
Yes.
Me fancha kese so no emfi Frankatuno Jinamuma, the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia also so emre wone wetie for. Any NPP Kuma.
Yes.
Me mame Her Excellency Mama Rebecca Akufo-Addo so wabesi beautiful library me constituency. Ekropon for na we na a part of effort of the Rebecca Foundation on support for education and for the children to for them to dream beyond the room because who kind idea will steady, it takes your mind beyond the very environment.
Sure.
It's Mama Rebecca, and that's the first and the only library within the municipality.
Okay.
And we want to say a big thank you to Mama. Maybe Mrebium, Yesungu Nesuno, so say or Sanswabe Boise, a health facility also in the constituency for me. Medano, Mamendana say. Wow. Let me thank the Rebecca Foundation. She's been an amazing first lady. And a first lady who has also left a mark. Osha, she has a unique way of doing things. She has a calm demeanor, and the approach to Niema is one of uniqueness. On Penawasem, very reserved person, but very effective. And so far, Kokolibua, our facility almost through an initiative. And across many of the facilities and activities that the Rebecca Foundation are engaging in, not from government coffers. And these are things that she raises through fundraising effort from corporate Ghana, as she champions it. And she's been a woman, I say that she's also a champion of good causes. And she's also a mother of charity. Na Mama, that's it. Na Ghana for Befil, you may also be for Pi from 2025 Echo.
Yes. But on the 2025 in common, Enra put together an event.
That's right.
To outdoor more flag bearer to the Ghanaian people through the first major speech.
That's right.
I've heard.
I'm say mountain and it was important that he led the conversation. Now start a conversation, as you know. Now if I finish, break it down. From next week on, he's going to start a series of engagements with the Ghanaian people. From the north to the south, the east to the west.
If in next week,
in various communities.
But how
conversation with the Ghanaian
how
people.
The hype around the event was set. Or be an opportunity to tell the Ghanaian people on a vision
for Ghana.
In
Ghana's next chapter.
Ghana's next chapter. It was a tight rope because I know about the speech now. Some have said, he's still part of this administration.
Yeah.
But saying running common or J and Nimunyamano about the Nkoye Diana or shifty blame any other. How difficult was that balancing act for the Vice President General?
Well, first of all, how difficult you put it. Yeah, to Obama Mampeni on the basis of the program, the vision.
Yes.
Our deba abibu on mine. Ubi bia o come Mampeni who ye ne boafo. On the ballot paper, you don't find a vice president, but it's a ticket.
Yes.
A president and a vice.
And a vice.
Intino Mampenino ne die song and how be pese obe movie Ghana.
Asempa FM.
Ne Dana Kumaso. Ubesha Akufo-Addo, one of the biggest things on his heart, and man oba be Ghana Mampeni, and throughout opposition was free SHS.
Yes.
Opa oneme be and also industrialization.
Yes.
President Akufo-Addo gets the opportunity. One of the biggest legacies of Ghana Mampeni out here Konyakesi is be Jama Omaino. Will be free SHS, and at the marker will make it our education. We share President Akufo-Addo, apart from the business side, one thing I need done was health, the health insurance scheme for the poor, and the free maternal care, among many others. Likewise, Akufo-Addo Sunyama Bibri. But me fa niana ijina hono it stands. Omo President Akufo awofo ene ma enjoying the free maternal care policy. Years down the line, they became the first product of Mudura Akufo-Addo's free SHS. It shows you the NPP governments, anytime we think beyond the ordinary and we take a long shot into the future. Let me fast forward and come to an event. His Excellency, the Vice President, has been a part and parcel of Akufo-Addo, the Akufo-Addo administration, and the NPP being in office. At no point in time did he say on NPP and on Akufo-Addo. But the program and policies are ye frank etuni or no no ye to abamano ne die song and then ya no did this the Nyankopon boano as what they to eponoso. Sa policies no or the bar any programs no our boafo including the vice president must support that vision for you to anchor it to a successful end. And a vice president Ababe, leader of the New Patriotic Party now, President Akufo-Addo, the 2-term I the man no ebe. And nothing Bawumia is talking about the next chapter of our development, be it democracy, be it economic development, and the geopolitics. And Akufo-Addo, a changing field of the geopolitics. And near man na a ubet me ayen and rano, and I don't mean it. A sense it me bem. Indeed, there were some decisions that we took in 2021. In 2022, you have to even revive it, reverse it, because the changing field, you know, ama edniemenu adane ama hokwan for you to move to another area. Until likewise, that was his performance yesterday, and I can confidently tell you that the president was even aware of the speech of the vice president
and the content of the speech.
Content. The president, he has his vice. He shared with the president, or no so any swadi huno. So Nyankopon boano na sutiminya akonya no betwaso na adwuma President Akufo-Addo. It's only fair for him to say me ba me minya akonya ba. Say na me pese me. Ebi wo no mo a ebe different from also there no wadwen ene ususuye no ne also the buy. And he shared even these key highlights and the content of even what he wanted to
with
even
his
do.
boss.
With his boss. Not just that, his boss, some key members of the administration.
Are you saying, sir, the issues of reversal of some taxes?
Yes.
His
even,
boss was aware.
Even the finance minister, he's his colleague in government. He shared those things too with him. So on these ones,
I'll reverse 11.
These ones I will also differ because Mejidi said at the time you no buy, it was a good time to raise revenue because now sebe ye fee COVID mo ayeba. Ye nisu briyen. We also needed to make sure say you're mobilizing revenue to keep the country going. In the taxes ni bi wo no mo na important here the buy. But the fee say the economy is recovering. What all the key indicators. And near money and what in 2021. In fact, the key indicator I'll give you an example. In 2022, on daily basis, we were giving the dollar CD exchange rate almost every day. You got to a point the Koya could do even 17. But over the last 1 year, you've seen some level of stability. The businesses are able to plan. Kakra. Another example, you had the e-levy bar first, now 1.5. But the following year, it was reversed to 1. Meaning that as you are coming out of a situation, common sense also demands, that is what the government also did by reducing e-levy from 1.5 to 1. Now, Dr. Bawumia says, in Ghana's next chapter, one of the bold solutions I'm a bit taking, is to take away the e-levy. Because ABA, upon its trial and testing period, when we say a sanso at the bed and kakrato, the taxpayer about electronic transaction. But in doing that, we can also mobilize revenue from another sector to make up for the shortfall. One of those areas could possibly, and it is from the mining sector, for instance. What's the mining sector? These mining areas, say nsuomu no to agudie enem ben nsuomu a nipa no sebe ne ho no epo na ho nya odomakmade amano no asase ida se yedi duanuane anase agudie a ehye fom no na wo to be to develop that area and for a common good and a mine. And cocoa ye one of our leading foreign income. But the gold potential, and in fact the reserves of our natural reserves, the potential, and I said the potential is in excess of trillion. Into Dr. Bawumia is saying, we can put in measures where the young people and people who are even in mining will not find it omus and no mujani. But train them our sustainable mining. Make sure send one more A2 no. We are able to get EPA, Minerals Commission, decentralized to the mining communities and the district. Nyombenya so are buying whether PMMC, whether Central Bank, and SMF. Niasi be caught into gold for oil. No? We use that to exchange oil. Niasi the keep to also show up our currency and we will. What country to say Iran, in spite of the sanctions and the embargoes are western terms, like that of the Russia, my currency ain't mean depreciating much, my economy ain't suffer much because they use gold and the natural resources to back their currency. And Dr. Bawumia believes nipa no baby otena epo na ho ntuntimi nka so nkoche fish. Near wohono na esa obuanemum otimi ya ni na in destroy the environment. Then you can have a district implementation team. They then plan, program and implement this reforestation, tree planting and a land reclamation. The man I've known him for years now. No? And yesterday I was so proud of Dr. Bawumia because every line item in the speech was written by him.
This 79-page speech, nobody
wrote even a paragraph.
Not any of his aides.
No. What can work sometimes when a bonk after 2-3 minutes? That's very typical of him. None laptop, the bones were being. To when I say now since I will be so still on the speech. It's been work in progress for over a month and a half. And every day he adds on new paragraphs. Until say he became convinced that because on one pro around the country, one of the places Wauku region, Western region. Nam Honum Mekaipa from on our way in the Wassa zone, in the Memphis zone. Then he came face to face as well with some of the challenges of the mining communities. And said, these are places you can develop them with more money. Maybe we may not have gotten a strategy right. But that doesn't mean that deliberately you cannot get the new strategy also right again. See, his thinking was that Bibi biana ebetimi aboa in these mining areas. My youth no fail say we give licenses to only foreign companies. The illegal some be mining. These foreign, you know them.
Yeah.
Mining, big mining giant. But the area level, no, these people are not asking for equality like the big mining companies. They are asking for equity. How can the state also help them? Again, you can also cushion them with a good policy here, an insurance scheme. Because many were enough from. So what call assassination be enough from? But then the sustainable mining now bet me a year jumano, ye reclaim land, no, yes, planted trees was so no. It also will help preserve the environment. Ono sweat me and need you yokutu and a bind so that chain, and then also introducing the refinery of the gold. And these minerals in Ghana a game changer. Because the gold no to now there's no value. It's only when it is refined and I'll be near BBF.
But no, we've heard that before.
And
it's
in
not
the
been
process.
done.
It's in the process. I think it's in the process. They've gone very far. MEF, PMMC, they've gone very far. And I know that there are some key Ghanaian companies that currently in Pokrano, they are part of what is happening. If this gold for oil program is you have a certified Ghanaian company, say Gold Ridge or so, somebody aggregator. They are trying to get others too on board. They meet that international standards. We do not believe in impossibility. One word that any NPP book will say be possible. For the NPP, we believe that once there is always a will, there will be a way. Yes, so beside say, Matthias and Crawford, the conversation has been said, I say, Yekoshia, Nyamani Nano, I said, President Akufo-Addo. No, President Akufo-Addo, the program a party a support to win 2016, or the Tuga, the nation backed him. The next set of ideas and any vision for Ghana, or the to Ghana for in 2020.
2020, yes.
And on a Ghana for Sans to Jina, so at the man of second term. Other than that, then people wouldn't have won a second term. But the president is elected on the programs and policies to move the country to its next chapter. And clearly, once he won that election, it's because the people believed in his program.
In 2020.
And yes, there's a amount of man.
Yeah, but there is another election coming up. So what's your food and beverages for now?
He's quite an interesting.
Yeah, almost the vice president is still part of this administration.
Yeah.
If our policies we now many tax why don't you do it now?
But I know there's some macacho. Me say every time you have an administration.
Yes.
The head of the administration wants a set of programs, the priorities and policies that or no one yes, or the better dashboard,
yes,
or the better yes. At the end of the day, you need any ministers and I say vice. The Akufo-Addo administration. And also believe we say, look, we're not the best marble at this point in time can move this nation to the next level. And another has taken quite some bold decisions in the past. In 2020. When the whole world was on its knees, Obi, Niama who said Adiani a graphic was that why wouldn't you put crying in it if you now to mean channels? Either some of them are bacho, no mabacho, no woman. And now Pocras will be with through somewhere. It separated families, it separated loved ones. When I go COVID, in I think late 2020. After the elections, we sure say jubilation in Nankofo Pusti Bimami. I was in one house with my wife and kids, but now I was communicating with them through the door, the window. Masa, nti omo de niam akra bebrewa. I said the drinks here they do lemon cause before they crying ayedro. Nya brofo ni dey bi. Tell na we garlic now, we lemon now, we say. And on the Bebrewa, and yes, any panbano be a wow to know the amount. Made by strategy the distance. I mean, I'm just letting you know the kind of situation we were in. Washa even media houses. Many of you were not even operating in full capacity. Churches, totally locked down. You be able to see almost 25, 50. So clearly, something was happening on earth. Being said we're going to face that problem. Until that time, Akufo-Addo had a choice, either to choose human beings over the economy, or to choose the economy over human beings. Leaders made choices that year. Omo making the wrong choices, they suffered for it. Ofa Obiti said Donald Trump. Trump prioritized the American economy because America's base was his strength, our economy. Millions of Americans died. He paid the price for it. Spain and Italy, they decided say initially on the economic route, then they go overwhelmed. Doctors had to choose who to live, who to die in Spain and Italy. Ghana had to make a decision. Say, Sabi yeni bi mpokra no a yemo ya de hye ho eban. So Akufo-Addo choosing human beings over the economy had implications. But the implications no, now you're better than losing human beings. And the implications too were that you were breaking the vote at the bank to save the lives of your people and to protect them. And when people talk about Bank of Ghana even running an expenditure in billions near there, what they forget was that during the total lockdown, and as workers were not going to work and all that, government was still paying them whilst they were at home. I hope you know.
Yes.
Civil servants were being paid. Meanwhile, the 8 to 5 was not happening. But this was a government who was...
and people have raised that issue.
Yeah.
From that same COVID, no?
Yeah.
There were some inflows I mean, including charges and for at the airport. There was even the introduction of a COVID levy as part of taxes support from IMF, World Bank.
You're talking about the post-lockdown period.
Yes.
But the monumental losses that we made when you closed all your borders, land, sea, air. What it means is that Bibi Anko and a Bibi Ama. One more shipping your macra brown and just a medical supplies. Anything that was going to keep the economy going was at a standstill. And the citizens had to improvise. Ubetimi and once the rubber and I saw as a sudden you're watching and so cry woman friends.
And Veronica Bucket.
Veronica Bucket. Ube them 2-3 months down the line, baby now with the Veronica Bucket. Say improvement of Bakubi de people kept improving. Companies had to even divert to produce sanitizers. And all. So it was like yet them one and as a face mask. We moved even to use our own local ones when Niana Ye Krano MI. So the economy itself took a hit. But post that, we said we can work again to rebuild our economy. And look, the glorious days of the MPP, 2017, 2018, 2019, we inherited an IMF challenged economy.
Yes.
We did not take the country back to IMF and Sanani Yeba. But the Munuano, we worked hard. We are sweaty. Akufo-Addo worked day and night with his team to make sure that we're able to implement a major government intervention since independence, free SHS, giving all children of school-going age our person call school into us one opportunity to continue. Obi, and ya disuan can encounter baby out. Nipa be brave or dreams, akom dream. The most fertile ground I'll be called with ideas, a cemetery. Ubo's nani dream was to be like Obi, as you know that cemetery. But when you boa for person say sebe near semenum kra ne yefan show school. Then he moved on to industrializing Ghana. This one district, one factory. He may not have completed almost all the 250 something plus district or municipal. But what he has done is to set the foundation in excess of over 170. But I know saying I'm yet maybe almost all. What this does since a rural urban migration bridges our gap. Into Dr. Bawumia has been part of the success story, part of the challenges, and then he is also determined, because of the mill he's gone through, the experience he's had, observing as a vice president, participating as a vice president. These are my solutions. Look at
but how about if Ghanaians are suffering now? So traders, maybe I'll say traders say nneɛma mu yi wɔ port duties akɔsoro na Bawumia a solution to that in the proposals he made. One of them the flat rate.
The flat rate for 20,
duty,
20
for 20
or
and 40 footer container.
Why
is that not being implemented?
And also making our port competitive.
Like the Togo. And then the Union is easy.
But I
why
think
should
that,
it be 2025?
So Niamana is that this discussion now, no, say you're setting the tone for a debate. It's saying to be, no. Like I say, it's a conversation we having. Okay. Yes. When government introduced the emission tax, there was uproar. 15% on electricity near there.
Sure.
We've had uproar. Government now has to go back to also make sure they renegotiate. I think all is also in an effort by government. Say, IMF program idea one question: how do we meet the target? It is good that you are bringing these suggestions up. Dr. Bawumia is not saying that he has not made proposals to the administration. Yes, but they're collective responsibility. If more cabinet, we bet on wide, we bet on Adrian, be a baby and the better send any boss. Becca said, no, we need, let's be bold, let's take a day a bit, means I'm meeting your targets and them. But I'm confident as we even go down the year, when things begin to also get better, while we are some of these policies simple crack can come into effect and send at the new NPP administration again in 2025.
But the other thing, and it's now Bawumia again STT vision. One may who say the content of that speech and run the boss aware.
Yes.
Meaning so the boss discussing as we sit no the boss in him say ebia or bar e-levy for example Bawumia ebetwe ede free ho obey emission tax, and he made the point say obeba na say da so ho nko ade obey ede free ho and say woni Gutafo din komo only
Gutafo and I mean one more where they are
no more point they say some of the things they've been saying port one year no or matter say Bawumia.
So for them no the proposal, the bold solutions no
they are happy. Oh, you saw the word excited or more excited about
and a good one of your biggest arm about the trade sector.
Yes. But I was sure to say food and beverages association.
Yes.
Also, questions and maybe say one. Omomufi say if there is any mess in this administration, Vice President Bawumia cannot run away from that.
Dr. Bawumia will not. He cannot. He will not try to dissociate himself if the plus or the minus or the challenges of the administration. And then he could have organized a program which was not an MPP program, where the leader of the MPP, a leader, comes with a cocktail. You face challenges along the line. And where we've had challenges, he admitted it. He also believes that his speech traveled a journey. What we inherited, and started by saying, no cry kono. Yenini penny Yera Jomahama. So, where the Yadia were chino, and Namokra Niho, a two don't pay tear, Mamoya Cosa Shamoding. Say, Moncancoso. What you inherited, what we did, and where we want to go. Into where we want to go was also his concluding part. What we inherited, he also took time to take us through. Our success story, what we also did in our glorious years before COVID. No country has remained the same post 2020. Obi none. To the extent that Utmi do abroach some of the countries are bread and eggs and milk as our shelves. No country has remained the same. No, none. Almost all countries grew in the negative in 2020, with the exception of China. Because China grew, I think, just a little, about 3% or less. Almost all countries on the surface of the earth either grew negative and almost komechi. In Ghana, no was no exception. Whilst a wufi muba, Nana and yes, Russia, say Ukraine was one of the leading producers of wheat and grains. Near Saya dear could ye wuya a buyer. But said the impact of COVID, even the IMF is estimating, say it will take almost a decade for we to get back to where Nayinan. And yeme mu beye ding. Dr. Bawumia Jitum say asetena mu beye ding. Or say we've had people suffering. Na enye joke obi obeka cho say hakuna matata, no worries, nani memwago, nani pano on take Ghana heavy. But then as you move into the future, you need people who will be willing to take some bold decisions. Say, well, you bet me a cut way off, but we can also focus here to generate some revenue. Your port to make it competitive for your port to be active. Levies need be on my see making sure say Togo for the no more. You know more that part. If you know more that part, people will not go to Togo or send their things to Togo, then come through even our unapproved route. Because of the far unapproved route to Bawaboka, you won't even get the revenue even at the checkpoint. Into where Lucy at the port, was send Lucy to at the entry point. And then also going into the future, he also believes that look, where we have gotten to now, the world is not waiting for Ghana to catch up. And it be more friend artificial intelligence. And a digital world now you woman. Dubai to almost see a digital tech city. People have moved to the extent to say they have Myanmar that can work without somebody even touching it. He also spoke about the business-friendly climate of Peseba. He spoke about say, oh, wana Jerry, every day be almost Nipa office. You can have a system where also at least the company should be audited once every 5 years. And just a Nipa no, you bear audit on who the BBC. So who the BBC there, then it means that I see a keep an eye on you. But say Obi, if I file in any yama. Nipa no be file hu na also we hu faceless inti obi me mekas me hu nanim na me penasem and I change na have to see his business go down. In that case, the criteria and the systems and the set of whatever you want to do is there. Inti nipa no omitia we meeting a tax obligation. When there's a rebate, when you're a tax rebate but this system where almost every man now you bet just me book I say a constant harassment and it's not business friendly. That, let me be very honest. I had a discussion with some key GRA officials, and they said they've also had that feedback. And it's also something that government has also complained. Said GRA must take a second look at that posture. What banana pano de ka ebia 100 cities. What say bia say no? Me pese obema memre na ma chimo etuetu ankaka. Yes. E ye better than beka say true to say what you. Now on turn your man we den cross and bow. So these are some of the ideas. The man, Dr. Bawumia is not just making comment, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I also saw in the area of sports how you can get the private sector to also show interest in developing sports. My main 5 video was also on chairman Abema Baby Jet. Asamoah Gyan, he was there as well. And then watch out for Asamoah Gyan.
Asamoah Gyan.
Watch out for him. I met him at Canon.
So,
I mean, Jen.
Let's say I'm parliamentary primaries. Watch out.
Watch out for Asamoah Gyan. He's a man of ideas.
Baby Jet.
And one Dr. Bawumia loves people with ideas. So watch out for Asamoah Gyan. He's his good friend.
Sports minister.
The minister. I say watch out for him.
Very soon.
And very soon.
But before you continue,
he's one guy who also has solid ideas.
Asamoah Gyan.
Solid ideas in the area of sports. And he's an iconic figure. Love him or loathe him, he is an iconic figure.
Asamoah Gyan.
And I think he's one person. He should show interest in policy, not politics. He may never know.
Is that all coded language?
He should show more interest in it. Because they say our Befi and he should also be able to contribute these ideas, this network to the development of sports. I think so.
Asamoah Gyan.
I think so.
And we should watch out for him very soon.
Watch out for him.
The question I wanted to ask is, and because you are an insider, you are part of the people managing the campaign of the vice president, in 2016, pre-2016 elections, Vice President Bawumia was the poster boy for the NPP's economy. And Olidi communication on the economy.
That's right.
Pre-election 2016. We need power. 2017, 18, 19, as the data shows, Nanyoma epic. 2020 air ban, Nanyoma take a downward spiral. And people think a lot of the things he said about the economy, the more to me achieve.
He did,
and
a lot of the things he said, which are the 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yes.
We implemented most of it.
Except that's only 3 years out of 8 years. No, I agree.
Predicted.
I agree with Intam Kesiane, but the reality of the Ghanaian people and it's things have gotten bad, and he being still the vice president now, he becomes also the flag bearer of the NPP. It is making new promises. There is an issue of credibility in there.
I don't think so at all.
Don't you think so? A major challenge for you going forward? I don't think
so at all.
For him to sound believable to the Ghanaian people.
First of all, when a man speaks from his bow, when a man speaks from his heart, one thing with Dr. Bawumia is he's not fake.
Okay.
What you see is actually who he is. It's not a compliment, it is a fact. It's love for people. That's who he is. As a problem solver, that's who he is. As a solution-oriented person, that's who he is. He has to fake to be in a certain space. Now, let me take you to the very question I will be saying. Ahead of 2016, NPP anchored our campaign on the provision of jobs, free SHS, industrialization. This has been a government that has provided millions of jobs, but the unemployment rate in Ghana is still huge. So that is why the biggest room in the world, the room for improvement. Number two, we'll share that of the economic issues that you also raised. Cumulatively, we achieved, so may say, look at the macro and the microeconomic indicators. We share agric sector. We share the manufacturing sector. You grow almost all the sectors until we had our darkest hour. But that darkest hour, and that's what President Akufo was saying. Was saying, idea it take a global form. And Akufo said the geopolitics, and it is a baby economy.
Yes.
You need people who can see into the future and propose solutions for us to go into it. Baby, I know as vice president, you're in charge of government's digitalization drive and agenda. You go to DVLA. Wabuawam in implementing a digital agenda.
In general, all those initiatives
our boboso where near the man our no swashim. Okay. When you are president, you are also in charge of everything.
Yes.
On only near Penny Ura John Mahama, who is his biggest opponent in the election. He has not been just a vice president before. He has been a president. If he has been a president, Onono cannot tell you, so, okay, maybe Bamumbe president. And I meet me, I see. He has had an opportunity that he could have implemented everything. The only person, I say very few people, and I'm going to go through that with almost all the decentralization processes. From an MP, deputy minister, minister, vice president, president, former president. Then coming back. Into another, he's had ample opportunity. He's had good opportunity to also to have implemented Yemeni Nedana Komaso. But there be a Nina Untimi or time.
Yes.
But Nedawa Komaso be a key, when you are president, you should be able to do it. Akufo-Addo had a shot at it, or made the free SHS and the Bebremo. Or the Breo.
Mahama would also argue say major infrastructural projects.
Every government been buy or no see Conco.
That's when your government be any cycle interchange.
Now Pokwaza is not done. For the term end of the motorway is not done.
But you've heard the argument around those
No.
projects.
So what I'm telling you is that I don't quite alone. Government be a bar. No administration score zero. Wabet Nassau always try as commander-in-chief, he's taking some decisions. But open impactful initiatives and a project. If I have given ambulances to all the constituencies in Ghana, a major intervention. If on a single day I provided jobs for 100,000 young people, an intervention. If every year, 300,000, 400,000 young people an opportunity to go to school, it's an intervention. In Tiniama no can, say President Mahama can say so, no, so I say no problem. I'm not here to sing NDC's success or but I'm here to also let you know. So we know near the boy tare as vice president. No, it's media. Na no me be mampenia me meeting. So the election is going to be between the past and the future.
But let me ask you this question, Ansana, and because of time, if the vice president knows, sir, when you are vice president, your powers are limited, and yet decisions will be taken. The close to 170 questions how the man, your friend is saying.
His Excellency
now other man as what?
Sir, Obusao now swabe yano. Sir, Pakwesi Misata could have answered.
That's a Pakwesi Misata was not president.
Sir, and then I sent on Uyano. So, Kemis me power the mammy as vice president. Metmedia is exactly. That's what
but he asked those questions, expecting, sir, Pakwesi was in charge of BB about the economy because of vice president.
Bawumia Obusano no. Onwe kontandra. Accounted for his stewardship as vice president. No has his personal experience, professional experience. Nia jazenia wafem no di nani ehu ene na wire pad has informed or no so more or dia boa aban. This zip line thing, and he told a story that I never knew.
About ne papa
ewu no, and thought say if inka you had some medical drone services here,
yes,
papa many others could have been saved.
Okay, as
a problem solver, Okofa Sankrofwe by was one of the initiatives that when Kamala Harris, by U.S. Vice President, by Oprezi Ghana for, and says America is even now getting there. Inti Ofa and Yemani be to say his background about the tech thing, about the economy and the digital space, and then Osha Ghana. The infrastructure about the fiber optic, about the digital space. According to a year two is far more in excess than any government time or by any way. So no the man no. I had to say the biblical story of Papa Bia no to coin or man obia fa we and tour na me kwaba. Obi de ne de ko chef. Obi de ne de ko ekudidwa. Obi de ne de ko so by any na no abohombo no. We had a story to tell.
It is for now, after this speech, Waka said, now you've introduced him to the Ghanaian people, the vision to the Ghanaian people. What's the next phase?
Next phase
stakeholder engagement.
Next phase is he's going to have an engagement with the Ghanaian people.
With the Ghanaian people. Engagement in what sense? Because we see former President Mahama doing community debates, whistle stops here and there. We see identifiable groups.
Obia on a campaign strategy. NPP will win 2024 on strategy.
On strategy.
We believe, say, you can't say we communicate with clarity. Now, face we are the share to form ye. We will win in the ring. We don't want a second round.
Second round.
We don't want a second round. Yeah, but yeah, Jumading. Yeah, the strategy is the to form for us to deliver a win in 2024.
But you think, sir, if we put the two leading candidates,
the two northern leaders,
no, if we put the two of them to that credibility test, because some have said, sir, this election will be about credibility. Because fortunately,
personally, I don't think this election will be about the two parties. I think this election will be about the two candidates.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
It will be our policies and programs. Sure. That's all catching.
Sure.
You cannot just tell me, say, what are your solution to solve the problems that we have at the black side? So sure. Local players. That cannot be just a policy. The local players, what has been our focus on how they are even being prepared. The local player in Ghana, that's
what he was focused on.
What's the infrastructure? Thanks to President Akufo-Addo, there's almost 10 youth resource centers, state of the art. Until now, you also have to make sure that you are getting these youth resource centers, revive your academy football to grow these homegrown players. Then what is the nexus between this academy and our quota and your kind of first in supplying these teams at the middle? The Premier League divisions with the players. the player management fairness and structure of the footballers. Footballers, excuse me for this word, they expire early. By 35.
Now,
Now, pension. We are pension 60. No, footballers pensions 35. What quite anymore 37. More crumbet if you can do is there. Kwana wa to 2 million. Yen in film. So we are more. See, there must be a policy backing everything that you're saying, and there must be a strategy backing. And he said you run a lean government. Dr. Bawumia believes that with what he has seen.
50 ministers and deputies.
Yes, he believes.
Was it not more than 50 ministers and deputies?
That, and he believes it is possible. When he decided to contest, but now studio, people didn't give him a dog chance. They said that NPP will never failed an ordinary. We have failed an ordinary. NPP will never failed a non-Christian. We have failed a non-Christian. Akufo said this is a man on a mission and a man of destiny.
A man of destiny.
Inti one a bosheba, men come sheba, a contester. You have to re-strategize, and it's somebody who keeps his calm when there are issues, and he thinks through and gives you a solution.
When we put the two candidates, said the worker said it will be between the two candidates.
The election,
to the credibility tester.
Yes, I think my candidate will, because yesterday he's given a good look. I had several messages yesterday, and some even being critics of Dr. Bawumia. One of them told me, I've never bothered to listen to Dr. Bawumia in full because I was disappointed in you guys. But I called the person. Yesterday, I was very impressed, and I think I'm having a change of mind. Another person, another young person, I now my imagine saying me in Twaba. As we say, they make campaigning rough because ideas we know they bar a bit boy in there. I'm campaigning.
Does it be any penny MPP?
No. These are people. Some of them are floating, and the middle class will be a battleground. The young professionals, the middle class, and then because UBF be a crashing back home. But they also are the most
disappointed people.
I say these when you are getting feedback from this your core base, then you are getting somewhere. It is also clear. So said the NPP has demonstrated the last 2 elections. Yamana is clear. So we are capable of winning elections. Into first now the criticism against us and say and NPP for omnima members omnima elections. See yetimi say elections yenimu wini by campaigning hard. And I'm a so yenimu. Na mesra yenuanom communicators. Say ye penny ne de or no vision aba. We anya atemdi. Let the conversation be civil.
Okay.
From both sides. Now ojidi say wo penny no betimi any different. Let's disagree to agree. But yempe cutting solution your money be moving forward. That's what President Akufo was saying. NPP funds you be communicate. You ne Ghana funds be din komo. Ewa ho brasiem. You ne Ghana funds be din komo. Ewo nidie kwan so. Na yesu nyuma ya ye no yetimi akire mu ye. We will make NPP proud. The goals of our party. And after to the founding fathers of our party. And the Ghanaian people will make you proud in 2024 December.
By winning the election.
Winning the election and rolling out Ghana's next chapter. Now, me assure say this covenant-keeping God will keep his covenant with us.
Same me na say, afina a friend is saying campaign no intensify until we would have another chance of talking to you and talking to the entire campaign team. And I would want to believe say enche or be pound the campaign team then so home tomorrow.
Oh yes. Very well. We had a privilege and in a year Juma my head of the
during
primaries.
The
primaries. Yes, so candidate.
Sure.
Into Rose be a player in the past during the primaries.
Yes.
We may not be able to play same role.
Yes.
Because the premier went to me for more money at the same time. And I'm confident that he will also make some good choices. Especially the Peninsula so leading the campaign also take part in us or and the various structures of the party.
The campaign manager will not be you.
No, so maybe a candidate.
And I say I know the
and vote for me here. It's all could be so be opening.
But you play a role in the campaign, the Bawumia campaign.
Already me play a role. There won't be no I am boy didn't create play a role. Many cabo money squadrons, a play role. Or Zania J so our money virus money, even good fellow Muna.
And you still play that role.
Play a role. But BBNA said ye chechi mono. But I still remain a very key part of what he's doing
of the campaign.
And of the campaign.
Very well. So me and Nasi, I see in Komobio. That's a pass. Sammy Awuku and Yatin and Kano and Che. And congratulations on your call to the bar.
Lawyer Obi said that who were caught on Obi Abre. Obi, on the no Jojo Kaka, Emfa no. That require me whom real size and so me alone.
Ekosi essentially higher Sempa FM. Enti yeah sorry adani ho ye ba fellas Kwachiofosu will be here. Miracle Sabuaje would also be here as we go deep into the Bawumia speech. Stay with us.
One expert bonuses akese odds akakra